into Houston Real Estate Radio this Sunday afternoon. I'm here in the RREA.com studio over in Spring, and our next guest is Roland Altinger. He is the Deputy Chief Appraiser with the Harris County Appraisal District, and you know, it's that time of year again when you start getting those tax bills. They're going to be due soon, so we're going to talk a little bit with him about the Appraisal District and what they do down there, what their job is, and what you need to be aware of and what you need to know about it. If you've got a real estate question, you know you can always call us here at the studio at 281-882-8088. And you can find us on Facebook too. We'll be there after the show as well if you've got additional questions for us. All right, welcome to the show. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
I am doing good. So when did the bills go out for people to start looking for them for their taxes, property taxes?
Well, most tax bills, if they haven't gone out yet, they will be out within the next couple of weeks.
All right. So tell me, what does the Harris County Appraisal District do? What do you guys do?
Well, our primary responsibility is to appraise all the properties in Harris County. Harris County has roughly 1.7 million parcels. Of those parcels, about 60% are residential, 25% commercial, and the rest are industrial and business personal property. We do these appraisals for 34 cities in the county, 27 school districts, 4 community colleges, and numerous MUDs or municipal utility districts.
Y'all got a lot to look at.
Oh, we've got a major job to do here in Harris County. You know, it's unique. It's the largest in the state of Texas and the second largest in the United States.
Wow. So you guys go around, look at the houses, and appraise them. Now, you don't go into them. You're just looking at them from the street and looking at like whatever y'all had appraised them at last year and how things prices are rising in the area, or is it more complicated than that?
Well, that is the beginning. You know, our major responsibility is to establish that January 1st market value of all those houses and all those office buildings downtown, and there's 3 approaches to value that we use to do that, so it gets a little bit more complex than that, but it is a difficult job, and we look forward to doing it every year because we do the reappraisals every year in Harris County for all those taxing entities.
So, when are they due? When are the bills due? Because, we're getting them this time of year, everyone's getting them, so everybody wants to know when they're due.
Well, the way the statute's written is tax bills are due upon receipt. However, most property owners will pay them before December 31st because they can utilize that if they itemize on their federal income taxes. However, property owners are not penalized until January 31st of the following year, in which the tax assessor collector will start adding penalties at 6% and interest at 1% a month. And, of course, that then escalates beyond the months thereafter.
So when people get their bills and they feel like that they owe too much on their property or that y'all have evaluated it and it's too high, they have the right to protest it, right?
That is correct. Every year, at the beginning of the year, when we do the assessments of all the properties out in the county, we then, in April and May, send out those notices to those property owners and business owners, and they have the right to protest that valuation.
Is it too late to protest now?
It is too late to protest for 2013. However, next year they will have the right to protest again, and in an increasing market that we're seeing, people want to look a little closer when they get their notice of appraised value next year. Okay,
so you see across the board everything's increasing, or just certain areas?
Yeah, we're coming out of a recessionary period. We're starting to see values increase. We started to see the residential markets increase slightly, whereas the commercial sector has increased substantially. And as we look at sales that are occurring right now, we see that the markets will continue to increase for 2014.
So what's the difference between what the appraisal district does and what the tax assessor collector's office does?
You know, that's an excellent question. The appraisal district is responsible, as I stated, to appraise all the properties in the county. And then, of course, we then go through what we call the equalization phase, where we allow the property owners to protest and come in to our office and take care of that. Once all the protests are heard and the accounts are approved by the appraisal review board and certified to the taxing jurisdiction, that information then is passed off to the assessor collectors. The assessor collectors then go through truth and taxation, and they set tax rates, and then the tax rate will be applied to the valuation in which the collector then sends out the bills based on that property.
Now, talk to us a little bit about property homeowners' rights. What do you do to help protect homeowners' rights?
Well, we don't have anything to do with property owners' rights, but we allow property owners to protest, and we've got a unique system set up here in Harris County in that, when a property owner utilizes the protest process, they can contact us either by mail or come in and protest, or actually use what we call our iFile system. And it's a state-of-the-art process where the property owner can protest online. We then give them the opportunity to iSettle, where we try to resolve the case without them even coming to our office. Mm-hmm. If the account is not settled through the iFile process, the property owner then will come in for a hearing, and they will meet in front of an appraisal review board. And an appraisal review board is a group of 3 members that are appointed by the administrative district judge. They will hear the case of the property owner and hear the case of the appraisal district, and then they will determine what the value should be for it that year. If the property owner at that point is still not satisfied with the value, they have other recourses such as district court, SOA, which is the State Office of Administrative Hearings, and binding arbitration.
Okay. All right. So who actually sets the tax rate? Do you guys do that?
No, we do not set the tax rate. The tax rates are set by the individual taxing jurisdictions. As I mentioned earlier, the 34 different cities or the 20 different school districts or the municipal utility districts or the county, they set their rate based on the valuation that we certify to the actual taxing entities. Okay.
All right. So if someone can't pay their bill on time, then what do you do?
Well, if there are some certain changes that have happened, and someone that's over 65 or disabled, they have the right to pay their taxes in 4 equal installments. And that has been very helpful to folks. And in fact, my mother availed herself of that in time when she had to, and it helped her because she's on a fixed income to distribute that tax payment over 4 equal installments, and it was beneficial to her. But it's only to someone that's over 65, disabled, or a veteran.
Okay. So it's somewhat of a payment plan, like a quarterly plan.
That is true.
Okay, but it's only for certain people. So someone who, there are a lot. There have been, not necessarily now, but there have been a lot of people who've done short sales, who've gone into foreclosure. If they weren't able to pay their bills, were they able to get on some kind of plan with you guys?
They can contact the actual tax office, such as Mike Sullivan's office, and work out payment plans if they go delinquent.
Okay.
However, the penalties and interest still will accrue on those accounts, but the account, if it's an actual homestead, will prohibit the foreclosure at that point.
Okay. And when it does sell, then you guys get paid at closing.
That is correct. And, another thing, too, that someone can avail themselves of is what they call a tax deferral. Mm-hmm. And a tax deferral will not eliminate the taxes. It will just postpone those taxes. And that is also available to the over 65 folks, where the penalties and interest do not escalate as they do for the normal property owner, but they're actually at an 8% per annum.
Okay.
Which is more beneficial to someone who's over 65 or disabled.
All right. You've been listening to Roland Altinger. He is Harris County Appraisal District's Deputy Chief Appraiser. So we appreciate you coming on the show. If you've got a real estate question, you can call us 281-882-8088. We're happy to answer your real estate questions right here on the air. And if you missed any of today's show, go to HoustonRealEstateRadio.com for more information or to watch past shows. 281-882-8088 if you've got a real estate question. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.